Well, good morning, my friend. Wednesday morning. I'm back in the office, and welcome to the Pastor's Podcast this morning. Good to have you along. And as we get going in the middle of the week, can you believe January the 26th? We are getting towards the end of January already. 1 month already done in 2022. I hope that you made it a productive month for Christ. And get going. Don't let the cold dog days of winter keep you from doing something for the Lord. I'm looking forward to tonight's service as we continue our series on Teach Us to Pray. Tonight, I'm teaching on prayer time, prayer life. And those at Maranatha Baptist Church, I encourage you to come. Going to be a very helpful study tonight as we talk about this and the difference between the two and what do we need one or the other or whatever. And so you come tonight. Let's have a great service tonight. We're getting back in. People are getting healthy. I like that. I know a lot of churches have seen a lot of sickness, but don't you stay out. You come to church. Now, if you're sick, of course, you stay home, but otherwise, don't let a little stub toe keep you home. And we have a great time at church, have a great service planned for tonight. Every service is a big service at Maranatha Baptist Church. And what a great place it is to be able to serve the Lord. I'm glad I get to be a part of the church and get to be the pastor of the church. And those who are members, thank you for being such a good people. I wish the whole world could move here and see the great church here at Maranatha Baptist Church. It's a phenomenal church. I know we need to reach every place, but what a great people. I appreciate you, folks. And thank you for those who are watching in from the outside. And let me encourage you now, you can come see the church and everything that we do around here on March 21, 22, 23 at the Old Paths Conference. Come and visit us. Register at oldpathsconference.com. And you're gonna enjoy it. I've got a couple of my new books coming out then. Got my first volume on Bible doctrines coming out. Having a new booklet coming out, maybe a couple new booklets coming out, and I'm all going to be presented at the Old Paths Conference. Encourage you to come, be a part of it, and it's going to be a great year. I want to talk to you this morning about the charity mindset. In 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 2, the scripture says, "And though I have the gift of prophecy, and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I could remove mountains and have not charity." God says, I am nothing. That's what Paul said about us. Now, the greatest asset that will change more lives is when a believer does God's work with charity. Charity is love invested in others. That's what charity is. So all the talent in the world will do nothing to help people. Talent is empty without charity, because charity is what makes the difference in an individual's life. The key to charity is found in the verse I just read to you, where it says, I am nothing. Now, you will rarely, if ever, be used of God to change another individual's life when you think that you are something. Charity is always absent in the life of the individual who thinks there's something, because pride has filled the heart where charity is supposed to reside. Now, you cannot help others when everything is always about you. Now, by the way, I'm talking to preachers as well as lay people. Charity takes you out of the equation. When you become nothing and invest your life in others, you'll be surprised how much you can help others. Now, I want to share a couple of thoughts with you about this great truth about charity. And that must control your life if you want God to use you to be a life changer. First, you have always been nothing. Get that in your mind. You did not make yourself be who you are. God did. You didn't give yourself the natural talent that you have. God did. You didn't make the beauty that you have. God did. You didn't give yourself the natural intellect that you have. God did. The fact that God blessed you with the talent, beauty, intellect, or any other trait that you may have doesn't make you better than anyone else. Rather, it makes God a gracious God that he would bless a nobody like you and me with this special trait, whatever it is. The very attributes that God has given us can be taken away in a moment. Then what are you going to be? You see, when you realize that you have always been nothing, is when God can begin to use you. Second, you will always be a nothing, but you don't have to stay a nothing. I know that sounds kind of strange. I know, listen, when you choose to invest your love in others, is when you become something to others. Now, the more you invest in others, the more you will think that you are, the more that others will think that you're something. The fact that you have charity in your life is only because of God. Now, true love comes from God because God is love. However, charity is simply taking God's love and being the conduit for his love to flow through you so you can invest in others. You see, the fact that you become something because you invested his love in others still makes you nothing, because without God's love, you had no love to invest in others. I hope that makes sense to you. You will always be nothing, but you can take God's love and let your life count for God by investing in others, letting the love of God flow through you. Now, you're going to find that charity's attributes will exhibit themselves in you when you realize you are nothing and start investing your God's love in others. You'll find that when you start investing in God's love is when others, when you will be long suffering and you're going to be kind with them. You're going to find that charity keeps you from becoming jealous of others and filled with pride. When you invest God's love in others, you will find that it'll not be about you and your hurt, but it'll be about the lives of changing others. And you're going to be willing to put up with some of their weaknesses so that they can grow. Now, how much do you invest God's love in others? Only God's love makes the difference in others. And the more you invest God's love in others, the more lives he can change through your life. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you want to be a life changer? If you want to be a life changer, then you've got to become nothing and become a conduit instead. And just let God's love flow through you to others as you invest in others. Remember, charity is investing God's love in others. That's true charity. We often think charity is giving money. I know that that's what the government says. It's not. Charity is investing God's love in others. I become a nothing, instead become a conduit. And when that happens, I never worry about me. I just invest in others. And that's when others say, I like that person. That's a great person. We don't seek to be great, but we become great in their eyes because they've experienced God's love in their life because of us. My friend, that's where true joy is found. I hope this is a help to you today. Remember today, hey, be good to everybody. Everybody's having a tough time. Have a great day, my friend.